walk that yellow back. What? What?
I babu.
I see it. I see it. I hear it. I hear it. I hear it. I hear it.
Hey, shower bar. I didn't know the bagua bar. Hey, but then I got bar. Hey, bagua, 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 hey, bagua, bagua.
You're the last one. I was going for the time while I want to sing again. And then I want to form entrepreneurs come in.
Kalineke bawa shoka no dem na te koka na usnale mata no reswa bisasa an kibabo lai sama la kibabo lai sama
banyana waki bafana bafana waki banya.
Okay guys,
banyana waki bafana bafana waki banya.
Ula. Ula. Sky out chat.
Banyana waki bafana bafana waki banya. Banyana waki bafana bafana waki banya. Na kibashile gaspa na hakibeta baspa.
Let's give him a round of applause.
Bigana ba bagila saka kaupa ka usanza mutlasa ta ankantana bana ba. Kantana bana ba skimile de las na ba kiri kai 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 kafa kai 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 kafa kai.
Mamelang guys, I hope you guys are all here as entrepreneurs. There's finance that side, there's 4IR that side, there's transport that side. There's health and wellness, there's a retail, and then that side, there's arts and culture. Kaufela Lebatloba, business ladies and businessmen here. You comfortable with that, okay? We're waiting for Professor Morris Khadebe or Abamu Mike, and then that the Milton Kosi will be facilitating this conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Dr. Milton Nkosi. We can do better than that.
Hello, Orange Farm, hello. Were you here in my last session on Wednesday? You are not a new crowd, are you? So you are back for more? Wonderful. It's great to be back in Orange Farm. We have some amazing guests for you. Remember what I said on Wednesday. Take out a notebook. Write the wisdom that will be spoken to you. Do not miss this opportunity. It is special. You can't be scratching your head asking yourself, Konje bateni. You were there. You must write it down so that you do not forget it. It's going to help you in your path to greatness, because you are all made for greatness. So we are waiting for Ntate Tsidiso Muslomi. Is he here? Can the organizers please confirm whether Tsidiso Muslomi is here, or whether we continue with Professor Morris Khadebe to my right? Where's Dumi? Confidence, can you check where Dumi is? Pali, is Tsidiso Muslomi joining us? 2 minutes. Okay. So, what do you think? Should we play music or should I tell you another tale? Do you want me to repeat the Wednesday one or do you want a new one? Have you already used the Wednesday one with your friends? Okay. So one day, this is how I start stories. One day, once upon a time, sugela. Cool, see? So I'll tell you a brief story about the complexities of success and hard work. This is a true story. I am a young fixer. I'm working for the British Broadcasting Corporation. I'm with a very senior producer from London, very respected guy. We're driving together to Soweto, where I come from. We're going to interview mothers who lost their children in the 1976 uprising. So, as we are driving, we have a hired car, we've got our safety belts on, and the car is driving nicely. And I'm explaining to David, who lives where in Soweto, as we navigate our way through North Gasse, Orlando East, and so on. And as we enter the township, unconsciously, without thinking while I'm talking, I just undo my seatbelt. So David says, what's going on? I'm like, what? He says, why are you undoing your safety belt? The car is still moving. I'm like, no, it's for our safety. He's like, what? You know when you come in the township and everyone in the car has got a seatbelt on, they look like they're ready to be nailed, right? So when you've got your seatbelt undone and you've got your window open and usigi pigo, you fit in, right? So I'm trying to lower the temperature because ngihamba nengamla. So I'm thinking, as manga kumuli safety belt, ngivuli window, usigi pigo, kuzoba normal. Yabona kunamuntu ozongisuspect. So David uthi, no, can you please explain this to me? How can this be for our own safety? I'm like, you won't understand. Township lingo. And you know, as I'm talking to him, all the taxi drivers, no safety belt. All the cars are driving past me, no safety belt. So I start to point out to him that, David, look, nobody is wearing a safety belt. If we wear safety belts, we stand out. So he says, should I take mine? I said, no, don't undo yours because if we crash. He was so confused. But anyway, I'm just sharing an experience of being a township boy with some international guy, and you have to navigate those things. And you are trying to save him, but at the same time, you're doing the opposite, right? So one day when you are meeting the people you'll be working with, think about this story as you help them and as you help yourself climb the ladder. Was that a good story? No clapping, nothing? I'm so disappointed. Thank you for that applause. So kind of you. You shouldn't have. Right, they said 2 minutes and... Okay, so we carry on. Right, so here we go. We start. Ladies and gentlemen, please put a warm welcome to our guest, Professor Maurice Radebe. Inja game, for real. Now, listen to this. He's got a very long CV. I will not read it all, okay? Because we want to listen to him and to get his wisdom, right? So, just listen just to this bit. Maurice Radebe is currently the head and director of Wits Business School. Previously, he served as executive vice president responsible for Sasol's energy business globally. He was accountable for the successful marketing of all energy business products, as well as managing the gas to liquids GTL joint ventures in Qatar, Oryx GTL, and Nigeria, EGTL, and the gas to power GTP venture in Mozambique. Maurice Radebe is the founder and chairman of Unleashing Leadership Potential Foundation in South Africa. He is an experienced energy industry executive, having worked in the sector for over 30 years. During his 8 years at Shell, 7 years at Excel, and 16 years at Sasol, he has had profit and loss experience and responsibility, developed a deep understanding of the energy sector, both upstream and downstream, and has been involved in significant projects. Morris has extensive operational experience throughout his career, including managing the impacts of sharp drops in oil price through restructuring, cost cutting, and cash management. When he became Sasol Oil Managing Director, he launched the Go for Great project to create quantum leap in revenues and profitability, and drove the Functional Excellence Program and the Phoenix Program in Sasol Oil. He also steered the response plan in 2009 at Sasol Oil to the sharp fall in oil price in order to dramatically reduce the cost base. He obtained a Bachelor of Science degree, BSc Applied Mathematics and Physics from the University of the North, now known as University of Limpopo, Polokwane, in 1983, and a higher Diploma of Educators for Adults from the University of Witwatersrand, Johannesburg. And in 1991, he attended the Management Advanced Program at Wits Business School, which he now heads, and he obtained a Master's in Business Administration, MBA, from the same business school. Mangithi ngihleli nezinja zegame. Now, there is so much more to tell you about Morris, but I want us to listen to him, right? This is his CV. You can Google him. He's got so much more that he's done, and we are incredibly proud of him. Siyabonga Pungana. So today, we are here to discuss the importance of skills, attitude, and education in business. Do you follow? Here's the first question, Baba Khatev. Other than knowledge, does an appropriate education offer you increased confidence?
Yeah.
If so, how important is this in terms of success?
Well, first let me thank Mil, the seasoned. Can you hear me? Thank you for the opportunity. Thank Simpio Masiza for this wonderful work. I'm in awe of the work that is here, that is going on right now. And I think, and all the organizers and Palisa and everyone. So let's give them a round of applause. I want to give them a round of applause and acknowledge everyone who has played a huge. Prefer this one. You can put it here in case it runs out. As long as they hear me on this one, that's fine. Are you happy there at the back? So it's important. Your question is education important in entrepreneurship? Definitely. There's no doubt in my mind about that. But is it essential that you can't start a business without education? The answer is no. You can start a business and be an entrepreneur with a very little education. But what education does is that it gives you a very great understanding of how the economy works, and it gives you a great understanding of the whole ecosystem of entrepreneurship works, and then it helps you to select in a strategic way the area where you want to focus, and then have the competitive advantage in which you operate. And I've been an entrepreneur before. I went to business school, and I played in a small entrepreneur space. But when I was in school, I was able to understand big business, medium-sized business, where it helped me to really be able to enter medium-sized businesses and then finally run global businesses. So education does play an important role to take you to the highest level of your entrepreneurial skill, talent, and the heights you can go to.
And how important is it in terms of success?
It is very important in terms of success, because when you're an entrepreneur, what are you doing actually when you're an entrepreneur? I run businesses. I run a business school right now. You solve problems all the time. Actually, when you wake up in the morning, you're faced with a myriad of problems. And you need to be able to have critical thinking. And education is an ability to train your mind. You know, the brain is like a muscle. You know, that's why we take a muscle, and you make a muscle strong. Education enables you. Is that okay? Great. It enables you to be able to. We seem to have some sound problems. Not on.
And practically I'm here to, so I'm here to talk about, how to make it in the show business. I think everyone always has questions, how do I...
Hello? Yeah. So it enables you to have a critical mind to be able to solve problems. You wake up in the morning, you have a cash flow problem. You have got to understand your debit, your credit. You've got to understand how actually you're going to manage your cash. If you do not have education that understand a little bit of accounting, you can get yourself into serious trouble. There's certain decisions that you make every day, and if you're not careful, you're going to make major mistakes. I remember, for instance, when I was running a small business many years ago at Wanderers there, I actually owned a shop there, which is a convenience store. At that time, I really hadn't understand the value of thinking about how you use working capital, because I just thought when you've got money in your bank account, all that money you can use it the way you want to use it. And the business was starting to do well, and then all of a sudden I thought, let me grow this business very quickly. And then next door to it, the guy left, and then I decided to open a dry clean next to it. So I took run this business, and I started fixing the shop next to me, putting shelves, and then started to open a dry clean. And before I know, at the end of the month, I didn't have cash to be able to pay salaries and to pay creditors and to pay all my suppliers. But I was very keen because I was thinking, I'm growing. And before I knew, I was actually going to a bankrupt situation. And literally, in fact, I did go bankrupt because I ran out of cash. And let me tell you, that's why education is so important. It teaches you that cash is king, profit is an opinion, and revenue is, or turnover, is vanity. So you just have to manage cash. Okay.
Brilliant. I love that story. The second question I have for you is, how does education impact your attitude in business? And how does your attitude impact your success?
Fantastic question. Education helps you, your attitude to really able to work with other people. In other words, it makes you to understand different styles of people, especially if you study your workforce, people that work for you. It helps you to understand their psychosocial mindset. It helps you to understand how to lead them, and especially if you focus in as an entrepreneur, You must know that you're a leader. In fact, I wanted to speak more about leadership because that's what I'm passionate about. You're leading people all the time. And when you're not investing in your own education about understanding leadership, you're not going to grow. And then it helps with your attitude also, because it gives you a positive attitude. It gives you confidence. When I finished my MBA, I didn't have the confidence and an attitude to be able to tackle a big business like being part of the team that started an oil company, because I always thought, you know what, maybe I can run a garage, and that's all that I can do. But after finishing an MBA program, I said, no, I don't have to run a garage. I can actually be part of the team that starts an oil company. And that's why we started Excel Petroleum. Some of you saw those garages, which was later bought by Sasol. And then when you see all the Sasol service stations that you have now, I was able to run them. So it changed my attitude to think big and think global, and also have an attitude of confidence. And because what is the expression? Your attitude determines your altitude. Get that one. I'm repeating it. Your attitude determines your altitude. If your attitude is that you want to play in a Champions League as a small business, fine. You can make a lot of money there. Or you can go to a municipality, fine. You can go and make it. But if you want to play in a big space, which is what I'm here for, because I've traveled that journey from being a small business person to be a business leader at the global level. I want you to have that kind of an attitude. I want you to have an attitude which says, the sky is not the limit. The sky is a stepping stone for you. That's a fundamental difference in attitude. Have you got that? That's what education can do, and enable you to think big and think global while you're running a local business.
Oh, beautiful. So, are you listening? You must dream big. Don't dream about opening a container, a spaza shop, an orange farm.
Yeah.
Dream big. Dream about the guy who makes the containers for everybody. Okay? Beyond orange farm. That is the message we are hearing from Professor Maurice Radebe. We are now joined and we welcome Sidiso Muhlomi, who's the Senior Director for the Institute for the Future of Work. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Sidiso Muhlomi. Welcome, Tate Muhlomi.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here with us. We are relieved that you made it here safe and sound.
Yeah.
Now, let me tell you briefly about Ntate Muhlomi. He has more than 20 years of experience in international relations, trade and investment, resource mobilization and project management. His experiences span the NGO sector, corporate and public sectors. He has joined the university from the public sector, where he worked as director responsible for strategic partnerships, special projects, and international relations at the Gauteng Department of Economic Development. In his role, he was responsible to source and forge strategic partnerships between government and the corporate sector, as well as lobby for integration of SMMEs into mainstream economy through market access initiatives. He also liaised with embassies, multilateral and bilateral development agencies to facilitate collaborations and leverage foreign direct investment. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Muhlomi. He holds a BCom honors in international politics, University of South Africa, and majored in South Africa international political economy, foreign policy analysis, politics in the 21st century, and approaches to research, conflict, peace, and security studies as part of his portfolio. Mhlomi wrote a paper on Chinese domestic economic policies within the global perspective. There is so much more on him which you can Google. For now, we want to hear from him. Mr. Mhlomi, I asked Professor Khatebe the question which I hope you can answer for us as well. How important is knowledge and education to increase one's confidence for their success?
Thank you so much. It's an honor for me today to be back in Orange Farm. In my previous life in government, my team and I were basically liaising with the SMMEs that would then have been affected by the unrest in July. And so I'm feeling at home. And then the question that you have asked, Chair, is quite critical, especially in the epoch of social media or the epoch of bling. I think it was last week or a week before where there was a gentleman sitting in the car, driving those F car, and he was dissing education. He was actually asking, if I can have this without matric, why should you be going to school? Then the question would then be, is there a disjuncture between education and SMMEs, which is basically the point that needs to be addressed. I think the past few years, we have heard the word fourth industrial revolution, and we have heard more about the innovative economy. And the question would then be, without education, are we able or will we be able as South Africa to match the speed at which the global economy is going? That is one. Now, from the perspective of where I am sitting from TUT Institute for Future of Technology, we realize that there has been a huge chasm between society and academia, and between academia and the industry. And academia is the source of knowledge. And education is an activity whereby one is searching for knowledge. Now, what we are then trying to do is we need to close the gap that is there between the community and the academia, and between academia and the industry. And the reason we are saying that is we find that there are initiatives within the entrepreneur sphere that are basically not relevant to what the market wants. And without proper education, without information, any SMME that would then try to venture into the market is bound to fail. So education is what propels you to succeed in your entrepreneurial adventures.
Thank you very much. Which brings me, I know Professor Khatebe a little bit more than just a panelist.
Yeah.
It brings me to a question which I know is your passion. You, as head and director of Wits Business School, you're trying to transform the institution in such a way that people don't just come to get academic qualifications in so much as trying to get what the industry is looking for and what they qualify for, to try and marry those two.
Yeah. Very, very important transformation that we're busy at Wits Business School is two processes of transformation that we're busy with. First is to use this overused cliche called pivot. So we're moving it from being a BlackBerry to be in the digital world. How many of you own BlackBerry? You know the world moves so fast. Now it's gone because it didn't change. How many of you, I'm old enough that I used to have LPs. Where are they today? How many of you are old enough that I used to have cassettes? Where are they today? No, this far. Well, it was telegram. How many of you can even write an English letter now? Because you don't need to, because it's emails. So we're moving the school, both its infrastructure and the programs it is teaching, into digital at the core, and at the same time technologically extremely savvy, and then finally also make sure that innovation is at the key. And I think the same with TUT, I would say that's where we're going. So it's very important. But at the same time, we are re-establishing our Center for Entrepreneurship, because we realize that you can teach people to be smart, but also you need to teach them to be streetwise in how to make business work. So we're establishing a Center for Entrepreneurship where it does not need you to have passed your matric. It doesn't need you to have a degree. You can come there, and then we will deal with real practical issues of how you run your business. First, as a small entrepreneur, how you manage your inventory, how you manage your supply chain, how you make sure that you've got governance issues that are relating to your business, registration with all the structures that govern your industry, understanding your industry, and how to make money. At the end of the day, is for you to be able to make money and make profit so that you can be able to grow your business and be able to employ more people. In fact, in South Africa today, we need you to create jobs. Don't expect the big companies to create jobs. It's you who are going to create jobs. And you as entrepreneurs, I love entrepreneurs, because my grandfather, by the way, he was standard 5, but he started a little shop in Katlehong, which he grew up into a supermarket. Can you imagine if he had a degree, he probably would have built the Pick and Pay. It grew at the same time with Raymond Ackerman. And the difference is that the education, obviously the apartheid system was restricting them. But it's so important to continuously what we call lifelong learning. That's what we're doing at business school. So that you continue to learn, because the world is changing so fast. 2 weeks ago, I was in Lisbon. We had a meeting of all the leaders of business school. We just were checking how the world is moving so fast. The libraries are going to be gone tomorrow morning because there will be virtual libraries. These kinds of meetings, we can have them globally with all the linking that are there. So it's so important. That's what we're doing at business school. And it's going to be an exciting journey for me, especially after spending 3 decades in the corporate world, in business. Now I'm in academia. I'm closing that gap. I'm standing in the middle, and I'm bringing so many business people. The guy, for instance, who started Nando's has come into our advisory board. Bumi, who's running Bidvest, is on our advisory board. Great leadership of this country and business leaders are in our board. And because we want to make sure that we do both, produce academically sound, innovative, and digitally sound people, but at the same time entrepreneurial. We're even creating a tech startup initiative called Chimulong, where if you've got a technology that you want us to help you with, we help you to start and be able to also help you commercialize it and then help you with the funding. That's what we're busy with.
Beautiful. Fresh from Lisbon, Portugal, Baba. Izinja, Baba. That's what you must aspire to be. We are here to build those dreams in your mind and dream big and even bigger than what we are saying, right? So just listen to this question now. Tatem Mhlome, you are not new into academia. You had spent some time as a visiting lecturer at Hagai Institute in Singapore, teaching strategic communication. Uzwa nje.
Yes. Wonderful, wonderful. Well done.
This is inspirational. You can also do it. That's why we are here. We want you to dream about doing this, going to Singapore and being a visiting lecturer from Orange Farm.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. And one of you in this room will be standing on the podium And you will talk about this day. I promise you. Some of you are going to do it. I believe that. Now, Mr. Mhlomi, with all that experience in Singapore, what happened there, what did you find about the Singaporeans that we can learn from? Because they don't have gold, they don't have platinum, they're just like somewhere near the ocean, and suddenly their economy is doing better than people who are working on platinum.
Central to the development of Singapore, beside great leadership, is their investment in education. In Singapore, to finish university is basically every family would want their kid to finish the university. And that is one. Two, their investment in innovation has actually propelled them, especially within the fintech space, has propelled them actually to become one of the top countries. I was saying to someone, their dollar reserves are even more than the American dollar reserves, as small as they are. Then the question would then be, the miracle of Singapore, can it happen in South Africa? There are some ingredients that we need to make that miracle happen. One, we need leadership that is very decisive. And two, we need institutions that are willing to stand in the gap and assist the leadership that is decisive. And that we see in the posture that the likes of VETS, the like of TUT is taking. With the Institute for Future of Work, we are working to produce future-ready graduates. And what does future-ready graduate look like? Future-ready graduate is the graduate that is ready for the market. And that we then define within two perspectives. One perspective is a graduate that when they leave the door of the university, they are able to start a business that would become a multiplying effect in employment. And now, how are we doing that? Through the institution, we have an acceleration lab that will be looking at reskilling the students. Most of you, when you went to university, you didn't know what you want to study. You registered and suddenly you are sitting with a degree that you can't use. And at the Tech Hub in Hatfield, we have a girl. She studied BTech engineering, and she realized she couldn't get a job. And she's now a virtual reality specialist because we managed to reskill that person. And she can go out, start her own company, or be employed in that industry. The second kind of graduate is the one that when you walk out of university, companies would actually be fighting to have you because you would have gone through a greater program. And that is the same with the universities in Singapore. Most of the companies are fighting for the graduates. And from the TUT perspective, we are saying we want to create such an ecosystem. And in creating that ecosystem is to give a black child an opportunity to compete globally.
I'm sad to say we're coming to the end of this session because we have to give way to other colleagues who are coming to share great ideas with you. But, Professor Khatebe, I heard what you spoke about, the academic world. I also want you to share a little bit. I know you told us about you opening the shop and then not managing the cash properly and so on. I want you to just share your story a little bit about values. What makes people to succeed? There is a value system that you have to follow. You can't just be floating all over the place. What shaped you? What kept you in line so that anyone here who wants to emulate you perhaps can take a leaf from your own personal development?
Well, let me just start with the story of my grandfather, because he was the biggest mentor of my life. As soon as I could count, 7 years of age, he wanted me at the shop. And he would teach me to go to stock when you go to Metro, and then we come back, we unpack, we put, some of these brands, I still know them by head, Omo, Saf, all these brands that are at the shop. And then he would teach me how to make sure that I calculate the markup quite well, and then we'll merchandise and we'll put the shop and making sure that we've merchandised it in a brilliant way. And in a way, and several things that he taught me. And through that process, I actually grew up behind the counter, if you know. So in that whole process, what did I learn? I learned the values of integrity. Integrity, integrity, integrity. I promise you, there is no quick money in this world. Trust me, if somebody promises you quick money, there is something that's going to happen. There will be scandal. Some of the people that are now appearing on Zondo Commission is the people that I know personally, that I grew up with. And I promise you, if you miss integrity, you short-circuit your whole life. So integrity taught me that, because he was a man of integrity. Secondly, hard work. You see, if you leave your job now and you think, hey man, I'm working too hard, like maybe family, and I'm working so hard and I'm waking up and I'm going to be an entrepreneur. Let me tell you, you're going to work 3-4 times harder than when you were in your job. Because in your job, at least you get there at 8 o'clock and then at 4 o'clock you knock out. Not when you're running your business. So you must be prepared to work hard. Work ethic is so fundamental. Number 3, you must have a reason why you're starting the business. Let me tell you now, the biggest problem we're having as black people, and we must change this, we've got this Paza mentality. Somebody starts this Paza, we all follow this. Somebody started a taxi. I still meet old people now who are retiring, and they'll say, you know what, and tata yonke le pension fund, imali yami pension, for you take it takes. I thought imali yakhe pension ayifake taxi, because in 1980 taxi was making money, because we're getting into this mindset of having to copy. The key is, what problem is your business solving? You must answer yourself that question. Because once you are solving a problem, money will come. People will buy that. The reason why, for instance, ShopRite is now able to make so much money is because they solve the problem of any inefficiency. For you to go there and shop there, they say in 60 minutes, I'll deliver it to you. It saves me time. The reason why the technology has become billionaires is because as I was coming here, I was able to have 3 or 4 meetings, which have cost me to go and travel there. But I was able to get into Teams, into Zoom, and I was able to. But look at the LinkedIn guys, they're billionaires. So the third thing is, what problem are you solving? Because if you're solving a problem, the business is going to come. But if you're just doing what somebody else is doing next door, you're not going to be able to. And there's lots of problems we have in this continent. They need business people, not government. Government is not going to be able to solve problems. It needs you as an entrepreneur to come in and say, I'm going to solve this problem. Right now, our health system is failing. Our education system is failing. Look at who's making money out of our education system. How many of you send your children to Kuro? Kuro saw an opportunity because our education system was happening. And who is that? And I know them. I'm not speaking in a negative way or in a racist way. But there's 2 white guys who saw an opportunity and says, there's a problem here. There's a gap here. There's a gap. Our public education system is not producing the way we want to. And then there's parents our parents will spend any minute in order to take you to a good school. They took that gap, bang. Now, they're multimillionaires. What problem are you solving? Very important. And then finally, grit. Resilience. Let me tell you, you will be knocked down. I promise you. I have said it many times. I I don't even understand the word failure now because I don't include it in my vocabulary. So if you're fearful of failure, you're not going to succeed. Actually, I must give credit to acknowledge Martin Kaskas. He taught me this. What does fail means? It's got F-A-I-L. Let me tell you what F is. First attempt in learning. Say it after me. First attempt in learning. So, you can grab hands for that because that's very important. In business, you're going to fail. And the high rate of failure is high. But what have you, the most important thing is not failure, it's lessons learned. I promise you, most of the businesses that I started, most of them failed. But when I had an opportunity to be part of the team that started Excel Petroleum, all the lessons of the business, starting from running, as I said, my little shop at the foodies, lessons I've learned from my grandfather. I've been in solar business. There's no MOA there's no business I've not tried and failed in them. But those lessons cumulatively, I was able to make sure that we don't make those mistakes when we reach that stage when we're building Excel. So it's better to try and fail rather than fail to try. Let's repeat that. It's better to try and fail rather than fail to try. Because you'll never know. You'll never know. So, thank you very much. I wish you, let me just release now a blessing of entrepreneurship. I believe some of you are going to be, not some of you, most of you sitting around here are going to be extremely successful business people. Do you believe that? And some of you are going to be millionaires. Do you believe that? And some of you are going to be billionaires. Do you believe that? And if you believe that, start with the first step. You have in you a God-given potential to be what you want to. God wants you to be. And I just want to release that blessing of wealth.
That's beautiful. Datum Tome, I'm going to ask for the questions from the floor. So if you want to ask a question, think about it. Don't tell us a long story. I say Orange Farm Mall, Lemateksini. Just tell us what you want to ask. You are sitting here with knowledgeable people in front of you. Take advantage of that. As you think about your questions, that employ your own route where you've ended up now at the University of Technology in TUT in Tshwane, and what you've achieved with master's degrees and all of that. How has your route, your set of values, shaped you to be who you are today?
One of the key values, or a value that we have neglected as black South Africans, is the role that a community can play in shaping who we are. And unfortunately, in the epoch of capitalism, we have become very individualistic. And we have also even neglected one another. And sitting here today, I am the product of the community that never gave up on me. And I do believe that with the young people that are sitting here, in the next few years, there will be the reflection of the community they have grown up in. Now, from the community perspective, you need to ask yourself a question: what role have I played to shape the life of each of these individuals? As the professor have said, some are going to be billionaires. Will you be able to point and say, I invested in the life of that particular individual?
Very good, very good.
Thank you. Can I ask, who wants to ask a question? Where's the microphone? You know, when you are sitting in the front, you're always lucky to be pointed. I want someone from the back. Okay. Sorry, take the microphone. No, not here at the front. You see that hand at the back there on the right by the, yeah. Sifuna laba bahlala back seat yebhasi namhlanje.
Sanbonan. Good day, everyone. I go by the name Temba Mposula, but most of you know me as Flaky Scott. So, sir, I wanted to know if I believe that most of us are entrepreneurs and we're always working hard. So, I want to know, Guti, how do you know if you have reached your maximum potential, or how do you see, Guti, yeah, like now I've made it, or am I far, am I close? Because sometimes it gets a bit tricky about, yeah, man. So that's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
Thank you, Mposula. Here's another hand here. Sorry, I'm working the room. Go, yeah, please keep going.
We need to write down this question. Otherwise we're going to forget.
I'm gonna take 3. Yeah, on the right. I'll tell you. Keep going. Keep going. There's this hand here in the center. No, center. Yeah, he's got the hand up now. And he's got a very long hand. Yeah. I hope the question is short.
Sanibonani.
Yebo.
Njani? Kama sipho senkosi ngihlala khona nje la across.
Apha volume.
Okay. Yeah, ngihlala khona la eWan never fit. I think abaningi bayangazi ne nguphi. Okay.
Ask your question, please, and be loud. We can't hear you. Ask your question.
Sorry, ama nerves timer. Okay. Mina kahle ngumuntu ofuna ukudila ngama mega projects ne. Into ezifana nabo ama estate, ama water parks yabo. So ngiyawutha sekasa ngicava fokon ngale idea. Yabo but ngina leyo vision leyo ukuthi one day ngifuna ukona umhlaba ona lezi zinto lezi in a certain place. You understand? I don't know who to connect to. Uqala kanjani uma umuntu ofana nami ngenza science, maths and science esigele. I never did anything related to into finance. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Last question. A man with a red hat here, right here. Come to the front. Yeah. He's standing up. Yeah, him. He's going to ask a question, a short question.
Sbonge. Thanks very much for the opportunity. My name is Bule. I'm from Drizik 4. I heard the professor mention that it's very much important as much as you need to be educated, but being streetwise is one of the most key factors that you need to have in business. Yeah. But also he further stressed on the issue of being educated. So I just wanted to check, Chair, to say, for a person that is streetwise and have started business through the street ideology and so on, is it fine since one assumes that I can't be able to afford to go to the formal process of varsity due to the issue of age and already having been too deep into the business? Is it fine for one to continue doing short courses that actually speaks to businesses and so on?
Thank you. Very, very good question. The question in simple terms is, which is more important, skill or education, right? In a nutshell. Yeah. You had professors talking about continuous development and so on. Now let them answer this. And as they answer these questions, this is the closing statements they are making. Because we have to move now. The program has to move to the next session. Professor Khatebe, should I let Ntatem Shlomi to answer this one and then you will close?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Let me start with the first question. In entrepreneurship, there is no ceiling. Most of the best entrepreneurs in the world start businesses that when they get bored with them, they sell them and start other businesses. So there'll never be a time where you say you have reached the ceiling, unless you lack creativity. And then the other aspect, I think, a link to that is that sometimes in South Africa, we start small businesses out of a great need and not necessarily out of passion. Hence, you will reach the ceiling. So you need to actually ask yourself, within this space, are you in the space because you want to put bread on the table? Or are you in the space because you want to make a difference?
Beautiful. Okay. Babu Khatev.
Answering the same question?
Yeah, you can just close and include the answers to the questions.
All right. Let's answer that. And I agree with you, my brother. I love potential. That's why, I founded an organization called Unleashing Leadership Potential. Because the potential that you have, having done physics, there's a difference between latent potential and kinetic potential. Our job here is to kinetize your potential. Your potential is unlimited. You limit yourself with your own attitude or lack of initiative or even lack of passion. So, Temba, you haven't even started your potential. Looking at your age, you haven't started. The business you have, you can grow it if it is relevant and it's meeting a certain need. You can grow it from here, right through South Africa, right through Gauteng, and right through to the world. And if this business is relevant, it's not relevant, you can change and start another business, and that will reach great heights. I want you to think globally and act locally. So in other words, you act as you see things, but you think globally. I went to Harvard University. Even somebody when is starting a florist shop, they're already thinking about how to make it global. You know how many of you, do you know who started KFC? We know the name of the guy? What's his name? Colonel Sanders. How old when he started KFC? Was 65. He started 3 of these shops. They started one, the second one, the third one, and then he realized this thing is works, and he rolled them out, and then from there it reached a stage where, because he only was a good chef, but he reached a stage where he realized he needs to bring private equity, people who are smarter, who are financially astute, who've got management experience, and they work with him to actually roll it out throughout the world. So collaboration. You must always, when you're an entrepreneur, employ people who are 2x, 3 times smarter than you in their field. Are you with me? Just put that there. I do that all the time. I'm leading academics who are 3, 4 times smarter than me. But I know my job. My job is to lead and give them their space to actually do their job. So never have inferiority complex when you're an entrepreneur. Once you've got an inferiority complex and you want to control, you want to be the only one to make decisions, hey, this world is too complex. The first person you employ must be smarter than you. Let me just then conclude. Estate, property, please, go ahead. We need people who are going to own land. And we need to own our land. And you need to acquire it, you need to till it, you need to develop properties on it. Finally, streetwise versus potential. Short courses are important. In fact, these days you can get them online. You can even get them on your computer. Every time you've got to learn and learn and learn as an entrepreneur. So, all the best, and I'm sure you're going to succeed. I want to meet you.
There's an emergency. Someone is looking for, I forgot the name. Did you say Priscilla? Pali, give me the name again, sorry. Busisiwe Tabane, please go to the gate. Someone is looking for you. It's an emergency. We hope it's not too serious. Please go to the gate, Busisiwe Tabane, if you're here. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to thank our esteemed panelists. Ntate Tsidiso Mutlomi. Professor Morris Khatebe. Now, if you remember, when I finished the panel on Wednesday, my last advice was focus on the chicken and not the eggs. So today, I'm stealing from Nelson Mandela. The glory of life lies not in never falling, but in rising each time you fall. Have a great weekend.
You can ask Mr. Tachil, you can ask, I'm here, we can talk. Sibonge kakhulu for isikhathi senu. UNkulunkulu abless asili yenu, abless lamabhizinisi wenu. Ngiyabonga.
Of nothing or 50% of something. That's why I say everything is case by case. You know your situation, I know mine. For a perfect example, I'm going back to the story I said earlier on. A friend of mine said, I only have 250, 350 to work for 3 days. I knew that was nothing, but I knew how I was going to use that thing. So you need to gauge that if you have an opportunity to work with Black Coffee, and he says, my man, I'm giving you no money, but your name is going to be next to Black Coffee's name, it elevates you. You are able to get gigs because of that thing. You are able to work with Prince KB. You are able to work with Sanel. You have to have a strategy. That's why she was asking, what's your 5-year plan? And a 5-year plan isn't saying, oh, I want to be in America in 5 years. It's saying, how do I get my music to Spotify, Apple Music? If I have 10 listeners, how do I get it to 100? How do I get it to 1,000? How do I get it to 50,000 monthly listeners? You need to gauge yourself, have weekly tasks. And this is why a lot of artists will be in your position where when you work with a bigger artist, they feel they can take from you because they know you're desperate.
He's an author. Is in the marketing and communication space, but I think he's making a transition now, to deal with, matters of the mind. Let's give Kukule a round of applause. He will then talk to us. He will talk to us for 20 minutes, and then we have the NLP 20 minutes, and then we're gonna give our honorable, renowned CEO of Innovation Hub, the most progressive CEO in the province, to come and give us the closing keynote address. Cooks, 20 minutes, but you didn't have up. And who's on diagnose how kuku?
There was Sanbonan. Ninjanbo. I Siapila. As Usimpiwe said, my name is Guguletu Maketuga. I'm the founder of an NPO called Self-Leadership Academy. I'm not here alone. I'm with one of our directors, Ms. Lynette Naidu, and co-founder of SLA. So I've been asked to talk a bit about mental health and entrepreneurship. As Simpiwe said, I have dabbled in entrepreneurship in my journey, in my life. Started a public relations firm in 1997. That's where I met a number of people here, including Uspiwe Mhlambi, and we connected, and we've kept the friendship since then. And I've worked in corporate as well, and good to hear from Ubabu Morris. He's been an inspiration to all of us, some of the programs that is run at ULP. So, as I said, I've dabbled in entrepreneurship. I come from a family of entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship is not easy. Hello? Entrepreneurship is not easy. In fact, life is not easy. It takes you to develop an element of resilience to be able to succeed and get into your area of life where you are thriving. Now, you know, if you want to know that life is not easy or you know, entrepreneurship is not easy, look at my favorite team, Kaizer Chiefs. I mean, ikhosi aliphela amandla. You know, sometimes you are up there, you are beating top teams, but sometimes 3 or 4 seasons pass, you are down there. And you become a laughing stock to other people, and sometimes you become a lesson to other people. So entrepreneurship is not easy, especially when it comes to you as the entrepreneur, walking the journey, your journey to success. Now, mental health is not a very negative thing. A lot of people, you know, we say, when you start saying that people have mental health issues, they think that it's. So there's mild mental health and there's major mental health. Most of the time, 80% of people, I'm sorry he said I'm diagnosing you, 80% of people, and sometimes in this room, have a mental health issue. Okay? But it doesn't mean that you are crazy. Sometimes that mental health issue is something that you can use to thrive in life. You can use to succeed in life. Okay? So it's not always negative. So when you are diagnosed, don't ever think that this is the end for you. Okay? So sometimes it's something. So there's a gentleman we know. He's born in Pretoria, left here when he was 17 years, went to Canada to study, started a company called PayPal, sold the company called PayPal, started 2 other companies, Tesla, SpaceX, now he's buying Twitter. Do you know that guy? So that guy was born in Pretoria, ne? You know, he's the richest man in the world. Do you know that our friend has a mental health issue? It's a form of autism called Asperger's. It causes people who have the condition to focus, to run with things. They don't look sideways. They are socially awkward. They don't necessarily attend parties a lot because they can't do social talk. They're more focused. They're more driven. But look at today. He's the richest man in the world. But he had a mental health condition. So I'm trying to say to you, can you move to the next slide, please? Mental health is not a negative, but it talks to it includes your emotional and psychological well-being and your social well-being. You know, when you are functioning optimally in your space, we say you are mentally sound, okay? When you function optimally, it affects your way you think, the way you act. You know, it's actually, it deals with issues of stress. A lot of us, we become stressed when we don't win, isn't it? Sometimes you wake up in the morning, there's no job, there's no hope. What do? You get stressed. Stress is a mental condition that can grow into something that is bad. So my encouragement to you is that when you're feeling stressed, don't think saying no. You are actually facing a condition that you can overcome. Now, entrepreneurs stress a lot. I had 20 people who were reporting to me when I was running my agency. 20. And every month, come the 23rd, I stress. You know why I stress? I've got to pay salaries. So it's part of the game when you stress. Can you show me the next slide, please? Now, how does stress affect entrepreneurs? Or rather, mental health affect entrepreneurs? They stress a lot. They lose self-care. Sometimes umuntu wakhona does not even look at himself anymore. They don't care how they look. They're just trying to focus on getting these things done because it has to win. They have to win. It has to happen. They've got doubt and uncertainty. Those are mild forms of mental health, but they are mental health nonetheless. So they have doubt, and they doubt themselves. They're uncertain, and they involve or they engage in what we call social isolation. Sometimes afuna ukubona abantu. Have you ever been there? You don't want to talk to anyone. I used to lie on my parents' sofa, and my dad would walk in every day and say, "Hey, what's happening with your life?" Hey, I feel I could just strangle this guy. Doesn't he know good he ever? It's stressful. Sometimes you don't even know to go forward or go backwards. So it's part of the journey. So some people, social media is a powerful tool, but it can stress you because you're looking at Casper in your vest and his new Bentley. You're looking at AKA and his new number 2 or number 1 or number 3. You're looking at all these things and you're asking yourself, but why can't I succeed? Because that's the life I want to live. So it's called impression management. Some people then start taking pictures of themselves next to a Ferrari. It's not their Ferrari. Some people take pictures because it's called impression. They want to project an image of success. And now when things don't happen, they stress. And they start hiding because now there's no Lamborghini. Where's the Lambo, Baba? It's very tough. So we do that. And sometimes we don't even seek help because it's too expensive and people will laugh at us and say we are crazy. No, you are not crazy. You are going through issues. And sometimes, and there's another thing, is that sometimes we are born in a family that has those conditions. Sometimes you have people who are predisposed to mental health issues. So don't be too hard on yourself. You can overcome it, okay? And then lastly, we identify ourselves with the businesses we own. When the business is not going well, we go down ourselves. And it's not you who is going down. The business may be going down, but you are still standing. Because if you fall with your business, who will rise and start other businesses again? Okay? So when you fail, as they say, it's not you failing. The business may have failed, and you must learn the lessons from that business, isn't it? Show me another slide, bro. Quickly, I've got a few slides. Now, here's the very interesting stats that I found. That 72% of entrepreneurs suffer from a mental health condition. 72, these are global stats. 72% of entrepreneurs suffer. Here's the worst one. 23% of their family members are also affected because the entrepreneur is suffering. So you see, this journey is not easy. You need some degree of resilience to be able to succeed. Show me the next slide, Chief. I need to round up. So, overcoming mental health challenges. You don't have to suffer alone. Seek help. People, when you think of seeking help, they think, I must go look for a psychologist. But you know what? Sometimes the elder in your family, sit down and talk to someone. Do you know something, that solutions most of the time lie within you than out there? Do you know that sometimes you have your solutions to your problem? It's just that you need someone to talk to. So seek help. Talk to someone. Don't suffer in silence. Develop an optimistic mindset. Hey, Baba, it's not easy. I'll tell you, I've been there. I am there right now. Sometimes you find that you are alone. Okay? So you have to encourage and motivate yourself. You've got to pull yourself out of slumber and begin to do things that will make changes in your life. So you need that optimistic mindset to do that. And lastly, it's about practicing mindfulness. Now, there's a program that we're going to announce in the next few minutes. And one of the things that we want to teach people in that program is to practice mindfulness. Now, mindfulness says, you are not yesterday. You are not tomorrow. You are now. Can I say that again? Mindfulness says you are not yesterday. You may have failed failed yesterday, but it doesn't mean you are a failure. Okay? You may be worried about tomorrow, but you are not in tomorrow. You are still in the moment, in the now. So practicing mindfulness says that you must be in the present moment and understand how do I resolve the issues that I'm facing in the present moment. So it's a skill that we want to teach young people, and I'll talk to it shortly. Okay, but next slide. So I told you I run a program, an organization called Self-Leadership Academy. One of the programs we have is a stretch program that will take through some of you guys through as we engage with you. Now, some of the things that entrepreneurs need to learn, you need to learn self-awareness. I am not Elon Musk, okay? I'm not Simpiwe Masiza. I am Gugulethu Maqethuka. I have to understand what informs Gugulethu Maqethuka. That's where your success comes, when you develop self-awareness. Secondly, it's about transformational thinking. Transformational thinking says, you do it today, it doesn't work, you do it again tomorrow, you try and work at it. Who's that guy who invented the light bulb? Thomas Edison. You know, they say he failed how many times? 1,000 times until he got it right. That's transformational thinking. It's saying, I can do it better, I can do it better, I'll find the solution. Thirdly is reflection. One of the things we fail to do in life is to look back and say, how did I not make it? What made me stumble? So that's what reflection is. We want young people or young entrepreneurs who are reflective, who are able to say, hey, one day Amachita called me on the side, they gave me that stuff, and I was knocked out for a week. Now, you can't go back and do that stuff because you know the effects of how it impacted you. So we want to encourage you guys to be reflective about where you come from, how it is that you got to where you are, so that you are able to move to the next level. Now, elevation, a sense of self that is elevated. You need to understand that where you started, you are not going to die there. Okay? You can do something and make better of your life. So we need an elevated sense of self, sense of worth, so that you know that you can do a lot of things. Transcendence, again. You transcend your problems and transcend the situation that you find yourself in. Confidence is huge. Without confidence, there is nothing that moves. You need to build, and that's the thing that we want to do and help the young people in Orange Farm to build their confidence. The can-do attitude, not the can't do, the can-do. Want to build that through to you. And then lastly, we want to enjoy the harvest with you when you are beginning to show success in every area. So we're with you for the long term. We're not with you only for a period of time. So I spoke to Mr. Masiza, and I said to him, Chief, we need to do something as Self-Leadership Academy. We are partners with EmpowaWorks, and we are partners with the people of Orange Farm. So we are going to adopt young people between the ages of 16 and 18. Bakhona la? Hello? 60. Bakhona ne? Thank you. Abashaya izandla. 16 and 18, 10 girls, 10 boys. We're going to do a number of things with them. We're going to do psychosocial support and coaching for them. We want to do high performance coaching. How do you perform high in your area? And thirdly, we're going to do an entrepreneurship boot camp. Now, there are other things that are in there that I'm not going to talk about today, but I'll talk to the young people who are part of this thing. So, Dumi and I will come up with a plan, but we need 10 girls, 10 boys. My wish is that before we leave today, I need to have those young people, because I've got consent forms that I have for them, so that they can get their parents to agree as well for them to participate, because when you deal with psychological issues, you need parental and guardian support, okay? So nithi bakhona? Let me see their hands. Wow. They're here. They're here. They're here. Okay, okay, okay. Don't worry. Don't worry. Our plan is simple. This is a pilot that we're doing with these learners, ne? With these young kids. It's a pilot who will increase as we go along. So don't worry. So can I ask, when the next speaker finishes, ne? When the next speaker finishes, can I ask those young people who lifted their hands to come and meet me there at the corner, okay? There at the corner, so that we can start and get the process rolling. But let me thank you guys for having listened to me today. It is possible to overcome mental challenges, okay? You are a winner and you are not a loser, okay? Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Gugu Maketuga. Thank you so much. Without wasting any further time, because we are a bit pressed for time this afternoon, I'd like to introduce our next speaker, and he is a representative from the National Lotteries Commission of South Africa, and his name is Mr. Ndibuo Mafela, the head of Stakeholder Relations, Marketing and Communications. Please give him a round of applause. Thank you.
Is it working? Okay. Dumelang. Sanbonani. Ndima Cheron. Maybe let me start by explaining what the National Lotteries Commission does. Before you ask me about numbers, I know nothing about them. The National Lotteries Commission is the regulator of the National Lottery, as most of you who are over 18 play it. And we also regulate sports pools in South Africa. So for you to realize that when you say you don't win the lotto, you are not telling the truth, because everybody who plays the lotto end up winning the lotto. Yes. Let me tell you how the people of Orange Farm have won this lotto. In each and every 5 rand ticket that you guys play, us as the National Lotteries Commission, out of that ticket, we get 27% of it. What do we do with that money that we take out of every ticket that you play? We go and make grants to non-profit organizations in communities. So that you understand what I'm talking about, something that is closer to yourselves. In Orange Farm, we have helped Sizanani Community Development Project. This project deals with issues of health, mobile health clinics in your community. We have also rendered what Mr. So we also fund, now that when you speak to every young person these days, they want to be on TV, they want to sing. We also fund arts so that our heritage and culture can be maintained, it doesn't die. And all these things have happened in the community of Orange Farm and others in South Africa. So I want again for you to tell me that you as the community of Orange Farm didn't win the lotto. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in an age where everything is very possible. I was quite touched when he was speaking earlier that you are not going to end up being what you are today. Where I was born myself, I'm a typical example of that. Even today, you can't pick that village in a GPS. Yes, somewhere in Venda, it's called Chiaba. Try to search it, you won't find it. It's just that we were lucky that our parents moved us from that, but that's where I was born. and I'm here today. So everything is possible. We know that, but sometimes the greatest challenge in bridging all these gaps is finding a balance between the extremes. And we all know that our country have got serious extremes. You do have the wealthy and you do have the poorest of the poor. So what then do we want to do as the National Lotteries Commission? What are we encouraging the community of Orange Farm to do? The National Lotteries Commission only releases money to non-profit organizations that are doing good in their community. Since our inception in 1999, we have distributed over 30 billion rands. So that means it's about close to 1.5 billion a year in each financial year that we distribute. But we cannot, thank you, we cannot do this distribution if you as the communities don't appreciate that the value in building this country is building the street that you live in. That's where we start. We can be successful and all of that, but if we do not build the communities that we live in, that success is good as not doing anything. We are as good as playing a zero-sum game. The reason why we fund these NPOs for various reasons, from charities, from building crèches, from your GBV centers, from your sports centers, we even fund music festivals, by the way, because we want the nation to be happy as well. So that's the reason why, because we want to build the communities. The civil society sector in this country is the biggest employer of our communities. And the good thing about that is that it bridges activism, it bridges the delivery of service in our communities, so that all these things that we always complain about, say government did not do this, at some point we need to be doing this ourselves. So this is why, as the National Lotteries Commission, we have been giving all these grants to different NPOs so that the country can move a step further. While we are at it, you will also ask a question. You will apply, we will give you a grant. It might be in 100,000s, it might be in millions, depending on what project you are applying for. What then do you do when you have implemented the project and the money has run out? We have also devised a mechanism where, as NPOs, you need to raise your own funds. You don't need to always be kept asking, another donation. No, there are other mechanisms that, as you have registered your NPO with the Department of Social Development, you have made an application to ourselves and whoever else might fund you, you also can go out to us and say, I want to register a society lottery. What is a society lottery? Still a society lottery, it will be not for profit, but for the sustainability of your organization. I'm quite sure all of you do watch TV so that I talk through examples. You will have seen on TV when people drown in Cape Town and when some are bitten by sharks. There is an organization called National Sea Rescue that helps them. That organization came to the National Lotteries Commission. They applied like anybody else. We gave them a grant. They come back to us. They registered their lottery with us so that it's not illegal. And then now, they no longer depend on these grants that we give. They make close to 52 million in each financial year in this society lottery. So they are self-sustainable. So those are the kind of things that we really want to go on into communities and teach you that when you have got an NPO, This is another way of making money to sustain the good work that we are doing. Running an NPO is a business. It's as good as a CEO of any corporate who might have come onto this stage saying, I'm running a balance sheet of so many millions. Running an NPO is a business because first of all, you are servicing people. You have people's lives in your hands, and there is nothing as expensive and as costly as people's lives in your hands. So it might as well be much better than somebody who's running a big corporate giant. So that's why as the NLC, we came here to say, let us share these things. We are quite available in our offices, and I'm quite sure, as they've advised, we do have, I think, as part of our Gauteng education and awareness, we'll be coming back. One of the programs is here in Orange Farm. We will be here, and I'm sure it will be announced in your local radio station so that you come and understand what we do so that we develop this country. We deal with poverty. Our children, our grandchildren inherit a safe, secure, and prosperous South Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. And I'm just going to allow, I know there are people that are walking in for a few minutes, so I'm just going to allow them to join in the session, and then we can start the next session from the stage as well.
Made a mistake. Now they were feeling guilty because they laughed at me. And when I realized they're feeling guilty, I continued to allow civil. Because I saw now they are attached. At first it was genuine, but when I saw they are guilty, and then they gave me forms to fill in, and they said, okay, listen, what we're going to do is that you can apply for a loan. Let your parents sign. In the meantime, we'll apply for a bursary for you. But this loan, it will allow or register. Okay, fine. They gave me the form, but it must be filled by the parents. In my mind, got over my dead body. Because I knew they were not going to sign it. Now I'm busy thinking, what am I going to do? Then I spotted something on the forms. Please don't try this at home. Parent stroke guardian. Ah, okay. I had an idea. When I got to the room, I found my cousin there. How did it go? No, almost there. Today, with immediate effect, I'm appointing you as my guardian. He filled in a form, he signed, I took it back. For lo and behold, they didn't ask for pay slip, they didn't ask for, it was in those days. They took the form by stamper, but Hutlela, someone registered. Then I'm in the queue for the fourth time. They recognize me. Hey, you, has anything changed? Gary, yes, but come in front. I went in front boldly. I was for the form, but the process. Then I went back home. Next na chalet. I went back home. When my dad saw me coming with my bag, and Sheva with that smack on his face. No, Yakai. No. I get to do. In fact, I don't have time. I'm just coming to pack a few things. Then they looked at me, is this guy mad? I took out the student card. Flame. Aresvar, our student number mo. Kariki kopachele tiki hutela mra. Abamfa masantanyana. I went back to varsity. I couldn't afford textbooks. I went to people borrowing their textbooks to make photocopies. I made photocopies where I could, where I didn't have. And then, first semester, My results came, flying colors. Second semester, flying colors. Anti batho ba le ba bazari ntse ba monitora. One day I was passing, but hey man, we've been looking for you. Today was the last day. We found a bursary for you. And they made me sign. That bursary gave me a refund of textbooks which I did not have. For the first time in my life, I had 5,000 rand in my bank account. 5,000 rand in those days was a lot of money. And they paid my 3-year degree. And first year, I found my first job called Mutual until today.
The discussion today. I come from a company called Batu Pile Sales and Merchandising. You can see at the bottom there. What does Batu Pile mean? People first. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, so people first. And I've come to chat about, my topic is the value chain. Now, you know, a value chain, there's many value chains. You have a value chain here. If each one of you value each other, then every activity you do influences the other, isn't that so? It's a value chain. In your life, young man, you can decide you go to school, then you go to college, Tivet College, then you get a job, you find a beautiful woman, you marry. It's a value chain. You're adding value throughout the chain. So I'm going to be talking specifically about the retail value chain and where do you fit in. Because you young people, I do employ lots of young people, so we can have a chat about that. But just to explain how it works, what is a retail value chain? It's a concept describing the full chain of business activities in the creation of products and services, from the creation of a product to the consumer, which is the person that is buying the product. So from the farm all the way through is called the retail value chain. There's another value chain called the cold chain. Cold chain means that if it's a frozen product, it must run through the whole process and it has to be kept frozen. That's the cold chain. Okay, so that's the value chain. In the value chain, giving examples, we start with the manufacturing, but we can even go further back to that. We can go to farming. So where can you fit into this value chain in the retail sector? You can fit in anywhere in those spaces. Firstly, in manufacturing. Then there's a carrier, which is logistics, wholesaling, and then there's suppliers, there's head office, retail, and customers. So all through the process of creating a product, you can be involved in that process. Okay. The value chain builds value in business. Okay, so that's the value chain. In the value chain,
figure it out ways in terms of creating businesses in different sectors. These businesses that can literally be able to alleviate poverty, not only in our community, but then also grow the economy of the country. Because we need people who can join TASA and try to also start up their logistics company or maybe learn about the sector, which is very important because I believe that information is quite everything. Thank you so much. I'm open for questions. Okay, I'm open for questions.
Hello, Jesse. University nonke, igaba ngujabulane uHadebe ngesibongo. My question is that through TASA, how does it enhance people who are graduate, who have been graduated from matric, who do not further their education to higher institution? How do they engage with TASA through scholarships, bursaries, financial support so that they can so they can precipitate through TASA?
Okay, thank you, sir. It's a good question. So what we have as TASA, we are currently having engagements with TITA, like I alluded earlier. And the focus on it is to build a TASA college, whereby you can literally come out of school and join in the TASA college, where you are going to learn about the trucking sector. Because you need to understand how the trucking sector works and how it can be beneficial to you. And also, what are the opportunities that are open out there. So we do have, our institution is still very small. That's why we trying to be part of this type of engagement for people to know about them, in terms of how we can help you guys in terms of getting into the sector, and then also growing it. Because obviously in logistics, there's a lot of things that are involved, which are very exciting when you get into it and trying to learn about it. You will obviously learn about the supply chain networks that are out there. When you are with them, you might not even want to own a truck, but then you can own a warehouse. You might not want to own a warehouse, but you can own systems that are managing the value chain of logistics. You might not even want to own a truck, but then you can also go into courier vehicles. Or maybe you don't want to own courier vehicles. Maybe you want to focus a little bit more on the other side, on the technical side of these trucks. So there's quite when it comes to logistics, there's a number of things that are really involved that you can get into. That's why it's important for us to really speed up the process around getting the TASA college out there, so people can join in and learn how to do stuff and then also grow within TASA.
In the website that you have provided, like the WhatsApp information and
Yes, ma'am, it's on the website. Remember, it's www.trackers hash.
Kodwa manje usaba ukubuyela ekhaya ngoba usaba ukuthi abantu bazothini, then you lose your life just because ufuna uku-impressa ifamily, abangani or ama neighbor. Then you are seated in a relationship or a marriage, uyakitikwa wena every night wiscoop ukhala ubusuku bonke. So this one goes for 200 rands. You can buy it for your mom, for a friend, for somebody who is in a toxic relationship, or somebody who has survived a toxic relationship. It's very, very, very.
I think as he come in, we have agreed with Ntatedivu that we're gonna have a workshop so that he can go into details. He's gonna bring a grant funding expert, and then he'll make sure that he's there, so that he can take us step by step. Are we all together? I think you are in our database. We're going to send the message before next week. He's going to give us a date so that we can go line upon line. Are we all together, guys? Are we comfortable with that? Let's give the advocate a round of applause.
Let me just unpack everything. Good afternoon. How's everyone? I thought they're going to play some music. Now I need to drink water first. Thank you very much. You know, you were speaking about health and health issues. I really have health issues to stand here today, but I'll manage. You don't mind taking off my... I don't... No, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Masiza, I know him from a previous life as well, and some of the other dignitaries that are here. I brought my board chairperson with, Advocate Maja. Can you maybe just stand up so they can see you? I hope he knows the Lotto numbers. And then also another board member, Mr. Gugu Yende. He's also an acting judge. I must learn them to dance still, but we'll do it in a board meeting. We'll dance. So thank you very much. You know, usually with these things you come with prepared speeches, and now I've learned I should not do it. Because you will tear me apart if I'm too constructive now. So thank you very much for this opportunity. I think this is a brilliant type of event. I was speaking to Mr. Masiza. I think going forward, the Innovation Hub should partner with an event like this. I work with politicians, but I'll get away with getting the money. I hope so. But thank you very much. So my name is Peter Hall. I'm the CEO of the Innovation Hub. Who of you, by raising of a hand, knows about the Innovation Hub? Yeah, no, I think this is a problem. I was hoping people would jump up and say, yes, we know. Because that's the purpose of the Innovation Hub, is to grow township economy. And, you know, I'm one of the, my board chair always laughs with me if I say I'm one of the whiteys who always say disrupt. And you need to disrupt. And I'm not saying disrupt by, you know, being disruptive, but disrupt whatever you can to improve the livelihood and services of our people. This is what we need to do. I was sitting outside in a board meeting before we were here from 12 o'clock, and we were sitting in my car, myself and the board chair and Mr. Yende, in a board meeting for almost 3 hours. And I was thinking, how can we assist the community here to become creative, so that we come here next time and there might be cubicles for us to have our meetings. And we can assist you with doing that. So let me first start by expressing my gratitude on behalf of the Gauteng Growth and Development Agency, which is our holding company as the Innovation Hub, and obviously, Mr. Masiza, to you and all the people who are working with you and having this successful event. I think this is brilliant. If you look at the high rate of unemployment, socio-economic transformation requirements, I think this type of events is becoming critical. And we should have these type of engagements more. I should not sit there in our office in Tshwane or Joburg. We should be here at the community level. Because this is where we can see what we should do as a government entity. The Innovation Hub is a state-owned entity, so it's a government entity. So what we do is we incubate entrepreneurs. So when you have an idea, when you have a solution to a challenge, technology, especially technology. When you're in the fashion industry, when you're in the industry, who knows about Porsche M? Does anyone use Porsche? Hey, yeah, that's it now. Now I see the hands. So Porsche M is an example of the Innovation Hub product. Porsche came to us about 7-8 years ago with a kettle and a little child, and she was saying that she sells her product. Porsche is in the cosmetic industry. So she used to sell her product at the church every Sunday. Porsche is now one of the best known cosmetical producers in the country. And she was assisted by the Innovation Hub through government funding, through networking, and through other opportunities that we were able to give her. Porsche is but one. There's some other companies also that I can mention to you. Township economies, unfortunately, we always overlook township economy. And to be honest with you, township economy is the driver of economic development. So whatever comes from the township, we use, whether it's in an urban area or whether it's at the international level. And speak about international, this is where Porsche is today. She's exporting her products. Not only does she sell in Pick n Pay, Dis-Chem, Clicks, Checkers, she also exporting overseas. We're assisting companies also to export their products. At our holding company, the Gauteng Growth and Development Agency, we have a unit called Trade and Investment, where we then promote companies and we market them at an international level. So that's how we grow the economy. So, unfortunately, the entrepreneurs in township faces many challenges when it comes to business support. And one of them is funding. I always say, and I know a lot of people, they say to me, hey, you're wrong, no, it's wrong. But you have to have money to make money. And that's a fact. We're not all Elon Musks and those people who, made money from nothing. But the majority of the people, they have money, or their family have money, and they can make money. So, for the Innovation Hub to be able to assist you as an entrepreneur and as a global entrepreneur, we've got ICASI labs in 10 townships in the province. Those 10 ICASI labs are servicing 39 townships. So for instance, the one in Soweto, or the one in Moslakeng, the one of Moslakeng services the communities in the West Rand. Sebokeng ICASI labs services this community. But I was saying to my friends outside, we're in the process now to expand ICASI labs. Now, ICASI lab is what we have at the main office in Pretoria or Tshwane, and we bring it closer to the communities. Because you don't need to get into a taxi or a bus or a car and drive all the way to Tshwane. It's expensive. So we need to bring services to the communities. And so the ICASI Labs is our vehicle or a product of the Innovation Hub to promote a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship at the township level. So what we're going to do is, and I'm making a commitment, Mr. Masiza, Chair, Mr. Yende, I think Orange Farm is one of the communities that we need to focus at. And by the way, I don't know where I am with my speech now because I'm talking from the heart now. So I think one of the issues that we need to look at with our expansion plan, we're going to establish 5 more ICASI labs. But I think we need to bring one closer to Orange Farm, Chair. I heard, Gugu, I heard you saying you grew up close to. I grew up on a farm in Fochville. I don't know who knows where Fochville is. You know, it's there, Carltonville area. And I used to drive through Orange Farm to visit family that side. And I was saying to the chair, he was waiting for me. I think I was a half an hour late. I was supposed to be at 11:30, and I only rocked up at 12 o'clock. Because I know the township, so I didn't use my GPS. I came through the township, there through the taxi rank, there at the mall, and I drove past there. And I can see how this township has expanded since I was a little boy. And I was saying to myself, never did I think I would one day stand here and say to the community, I think we need to help you, and not I think we should help you. And that commitment, Chair, I think we must look into as part of our expansion plan. How can we bring Innovation Hub closer to the community here? I think it's very important. And all of you sitting here, we all have ideas. You just need someone to help you unblock. Just unblock. You know, sometimes a person says something to me and I said, hey, why didn't I think about it? And the next minute, the person takes the process forward, and I read in the newspaper, this person is now making money. But it just helps one person when you engage to say, hey, this is actually what you need to do. And I can link you up with this place or that place where there's funding opportunities. So what the Innovation Hub does is, last week or the week before, myself and my chairperson also met with the Technology Innovation Agency, which is a national entity, and that's the innovation entity where they have the funding. So we said to them, how can you give us the funding so that we can give it to entrepreneurs at the township level? So we are having those discussions to get that type of funding. Currently, what we have at the Innovation Hub is we call it a Startup Support Program, or an SSP, and we give up to a maximum of 650,000 to an entrepreneur. But that is not where it always stops. Because with 650,000, you are able to put a product forward, people are interested, and more funders will come on board. And you will get more funding. So it's just that unblocking and unlocking of funding at the township level. What we've also done, comrades, is that, ladies and gentlemen, sorry. What we've also done is our MEC Park Stow and the Premier of the province some 2-3 weeks ago signed the Township Economic Bill into law, which is now called the Gauteng Township Economic Development Act. And that act ensures that we establish township enterprises or businesses. But what is most important of that act is that we also procure from you. Because it doesn't help you to have a business and you're a street vendor. We now need to unblock the potential with your Pick and Pays, your clicks, to say, that vegetables you must buy from that township. That cosmetic product you must buy from this entrepreneur in the township. So that's what this act is about, the Gauteng Township Economic Development Act. And it's also going to establish zones. Now, you know us, we like high words, zones and strategic, but a zone is basically a place where you can produce your products, where you can work from, and where you can sell your products from. So we're going to establish economic zones in the townships. And again, Mr. Masiza, I think Orange Farm has got huge potential. You know, if I just think back driving here, potholes. We all have potholes. The other day I was walking and I thought, hey, what is this rabbit doing here? And it was a donkey. So imagine how big that pothole was. Because I only saw the ears. So it was a huge pothole. But so what we need to do is, how do we, as township enterprises, how do I assist you at the Innovation Hub when you come to us and you say, I can solve this pothole in my community? Give me funding, I've got this technology, or I need this equipment so that I can repair this pothole. Small things. So this is what we need to do. We all have safety issues, we all have security issues. In Diepsloot, I was there the other day, and there's a company called Memeza in Diepsloot. This lady developed an alarm system. So we gave it to school children, we piloted in Diepsloot. So school children would put it in their bags, their school bags, or around their necks. So if something happens or there's an emergency situation, they press that button. It makes a noise. I was deaf for almost half an hour after that. So it makes a huge noise, but also it informs the police station. And that product was developed by the township entrepreneur. Some time ago, someone wanted to buy her business for 500 million. 500 million. And she said no. She said no. Why? Because she will get the 500 million and someone else makes money out of her product. That product is now going to be marketed internationally also. You know, with COVID, for instance, sometimes I need to introduce myself, or I have to say to a person, haven't I seen you before? When they take off the mask, I say, oh yeah, no, I know you. So we've moved into this vacuum with the pandemic also. But there's a lot of opportunities. A lot of opportunities. If you look at the mask that we're currently wearing, I wear a mask now. This afternoon I throw it away or it falls out of my pocket. There's an entrepreneur who came to us to say, and by the way, it's IP now, né? Intellectual property. So the entrepreneur came and said, I can produce a mask that is recyclable, né? So you can recycle it. Now imagine, I need to go and stop at the spaza shop or at the shop and buy masks every day because I always forget my mask. Now this is a replaceable one. Not the ones that you wash and it's a hygienic replaceable mask. Small things. And I can tell you, if she goes to pharmacies, they're going to stand in a queue to procure that. So small things. I think you were saying, Google, also that sometimes you lie on your couch and you say, I don't want to wake up. Tomorrow is just a bad day. Tomorrow will be even worse. But if you think of ideas, there's a lot of ideas. I mean, sitting in this marquee tent, Mr. Masiza, there can be a lot of technologies that we can install. And what we can do going forward is, when we have these type of events, we should also have small cubicles here where township entrepreneurs can showcase their products. And it also gives the community the opportunity to sell and make money. Because there's a lot of people here today. You know, if I now need to get a cool drink, I must pass the spaza shop and buy it. I could go now, buy 2, 3 bottles of cool drink, get into my car and drive home. So I think we need to think about that also, to give the community the opportunity to, to make money out of an event like this. So I think I think what we also need to I think what we also need to be mindful of is indigenous knowledge. There's so much indigenous knowledge that can grow township economies. You know, I was sitting we were going down to Cape Town, and there was a small child, I think her age, sitting next to me in the aeroplane, playing a game on the phone. And I said, what game is this? And it's a game that one of her family members who's in the IT developed from a game that is played in townships. You know, there where you place, you know, we play with stones, né? Yeah. So now it's on a cell phone. Now imagine you can convert some of those indigenous knowledge. I mean, Googles, some of you have traditional medicine that you use. If you can convert that also into items that we are able to help you with, we incubate you, we take you through a process, we market your product, and you start selling and you make a business and you make a living. So, Mr. Masisa, and by the way, during the week I was, watching live some of the speakers, and I am confident that we can transform the society, to be honest with you. Né? The Innovation Hub is only a small drop in the ocean, but we can make a difference to your lives. There's also the Gauteng Enterprise Propeller. I don't know if any one of you know about the Gauteng Enterprise Propeller. It's also one of our provincial agencies where you can apply for business funding. And also in terms of the Township Development Act, there will be a fund established that will be administered by the Gauteng Enterprise Propeller. So businesses can apply for funding at the Gauteng Enterprise Propeller. The Innovation Hub is not a funding entity, but those companies that we take on board, we promote you and we give you a startup fund. So with us, you can't come and apply for funding. We will then refer you to funding agencies. But if we incubate you through our incubation program, we provide you with startup funding. So my appeal today is, Mr. Masisa, to you and all your organizers, and the appeal to myself, is that I think we should also have training sessions, skills development. And that's also the service offerings that we provide at the Innovation Hub. That we come to communities and we do it in other townships. And I really think Orange Farm must be included on that list. So that we can engage. So that we can engage with the community here from a skills development perspective. We can also put up a small tent and we say today we're going to have a training and a skills development session. And we can also drop some ideas to you to say, look, in this community we think you need to look at the following. Go and think, come back with an idea. You come, you pitch to us, you say, I've been thinking, this is how I think you should resolve the problem. We then incubate you. It's a 3-year program. The moment you start selling your product, we then give you a certificate and we say, well done, you've graduated now. You've graduated, you're now an alumni. For those of you who studied, you're an alumni of a university or a school or a college, you become an alumni of the Innovation Hub. And part of our service offering is to promote you for free. So you don't need to appoint your own marketing. I don't hope there's marketing and communications here, but you don't need to do that because we do it for free. But at that level, you still need. So, Mr. Masisa, I can talk for days and hours and weeks, but I think the message is clear. The Innovation Hub wants to assist you. The Innovation Hub thinks that there's huge possibility, and come and approach us.
Are you shapeleng matsoho bathong? How? Ke majaivane. Wa mulungu. So, setse re feditse ke tlo fa Mr. Masiza o tlo leboha jalo ka protocol and then o tlo ba le performance tse 1 or tse 2 then that 1.4 million setse ba tlo announce no so.
Thank you so much. Let's thank our CEO, a man of his word. Thank you so much. Can we take a picture with our CEO so that we have before and after? The after is when we're going to be having the Innovation Hub Center here. And then we'll project this chair. If you don't mind, you can just come and take a picture with us. And the board member, if you can come, it will be a privilege. Ntate advocate Khotso Majale ntate yende. They will make your dream a reality, these guys. Ke bona ba tshwere mokotla, ke bona ba etsa di-decisions. Thank you so much. EmpowaYouth team, can you take if you guys are here, to me, are you here? Innovation Hub, we're going to be having a center here. Guys, you can do much better than that. The center is coming here. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you so much. Chair, thank you so much. Thank you so much, CEO. Thank you so ever much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Can I call to me Atogopele? All the industry stages are back. Let's make sure that we have everyone in the building or in this auditorium. And then we're just waiting for, maybe give us a song while Samari Ajiva.
Askis. Na guys, Aksa Jaiva. Ke apara di sutu. Se se ki bua sekgowa le mangamla. So ke tlo bitsa if there's a group kapa ke a person or an individually or by 17 spectacular one, would you please come forth let us fair a performance. If Haleo re tsole pele ka taba hona le batho ba lotho today. After spectacular one matso. Le microphone A1, 2. Another microphone, please. Another microphone. Spectacular one. Another microphone, please. Banabes. Ke kopa re ba fenditse ba kere. Ke bana ba habo rona ba ske ba feel nkare ha le ba appreciate cause ha le rasa ba tlo feel nkare ba performela batho ba sa appreciating then ba tlo give up ka o sa ne be le re what spectacular one.
My check 1 2 1 2 so sanbonani ninjani igama nguJay Khotso and this is Khothatso Utandiwe. Together we are the spectacular ones. Hopefully you enjoy.
1 2 1 2 okay.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, no, 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 no. Yeah, yeah. Gisema tandweni.
Hey, Tibai Keke.
Keke.
Keke. Hey, Tibai Keke. Keke. Oh, Tibai Keke.
Keke. Gisema tandweni.
Umoya wangu yakulangazelela dofika nine singale sakho nenhliziyo yami amelukufa dofika nine singaleni sakho.
Hey, check it. Oh girl, I miss you like crazy. You are so sexy, you make me dizzy. I love you so much, girl, I miss your touch. If I lose you now, I would feel so bad. I don't wanna be sad. Please, baby, come back. I don't wanna be sad. My heart beats fast when I think about the past. My love is big for you, I can do anything for you. Your eyes are attractive, your mind is sensible. When I see you, I get invisible. You are so glorious and also gorgeous. And when I see your face, it's like I'm in a big race. Your love is my desire, and I can tell the empire. Your love being fire. I wanna take you to a honeymoon, but each and every afternoon I tell all my dudes, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love with you.
Oh, hey,
I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love with you.
That's all.
Sundiko kele.
Hey,
Salong Saba.
Let's go now.
Bawo. Bawo. Hey, bawo. Bawo. Diabo. Kangoba wena. Usandikwinile.
Come on now.
Sundiko kele bawo. Sundiko kele. Aundiko kele meli wame. Salom Saba. Guitar man.
Meli wa mi bao uhlala uhlele duze kwami bawo ndiyabonga ngoba wena
usandiqinile.
Meli wa mi bao
uhlala uhlele duze kwami bawo ndiyabonga ngoba wena usandiqinile. Sundiko kele bawo.
Sundiko kele.
Aundiko kele meli wami. Salong Saba bawo. Hey bawo. Hey bawo. Bawo ndiyabonga ngoba wena usandiqinile. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Arabashapele matso. Difembo abutibang. Difembe mbatson. Lenna ke shapa yaka. Le tlo ba emotional ka ye. Ka bona ka ye. Le tlolla. Ke kopa. My brother, so. Ke batla ho move le ka matso. Maybe ke tla thola lenyalo ka mistake mo Orange Farm. You'll never know. Wa ba tseba. that we were born to fly. You showed me every day new possibilities. You proved my fantasy of love could really be. Let's go to a place only lovers go, to a spot that we never know. Thank you. Guys, I know. But right now there is someone more audiencing. I ring my husband. It's okay, it's okay. I understand. You have to go through that. Guys, I'm the last man standing. Banna ba ferile. Kusele mina ndedwa. Guys, I think setrifitile barika Zulu sifike emaphethelweni. So njengenjwayelo reto rep papa rafa Mr. Masiza. Mr. Masiza it's a vote of thanks. Then after more the performance. Di tota bajayvang raba happy. And then again thank you for Mamela. Lina today, ke my last day. Lin Thompile, Lampadi, Disebetalona. God bless you all. Mr. Masiza, over to you.
Let's give somebody a round of applause. Can I call the EmpowaYouth team to come forward? This is the team. I call it the A team, the magic team. D, can you come with the team? Pale Satlogopile, Cash, Zez, Linda, Lefa, Romeo, Mpopo, and Tates Chaba, if you're still here. Let's give this team a round of applause. These are the guys that are behind the coordination of okay. This is the team that makes things happen. Let's give them a round of applause. This is the team that makes things happen. This is the team that makes things happen. This is Romeo, our photographer, a professional, a creative in that space. This is D, Tumiliru, who heads this project. She's the one that leads us. She's our project lead. And then Zez, she's the one responsible for portfolio that is called Opportunity Pavilion. All the commitments that are made, she's the one that will follow through on these commitments. Her responsibility is to phone the office of the minister, Stella Ndawen, and say, you have committed to Gwenzagalan. Is to follow Ntate Tulas and say, Baba Tulas who committed to Gwenzagalan. Is to follow on the CEO Innovation Hub and say, Ute uleta Innovation Hub Orange Farm, Gwenzagalan. She's the lady that is a thorn in their flesh. And then we have Olinda Yende. Most of you know Linda. He's a celebrity, he's an author. He has written a book called Wake Up Woman, selling like crazy. He's the Steve Harvey of South Africa. He's the one that gives, secrets around relationships, but is a lead when it comes to relationship management and sales. He's the man that makes things happen in getting more partners and talent and speakers to join us for this event. And then we have Ulifa Masiza. Him and I will run Masiza Foundation. He's my younger brother. He's our logistical lead. He's the one that does the runaround. He's the mayor, Yamo, Extension 6. But who's Jondo? Then we have Opa, is our media specialist. He's the one that makes sure that we appear on media houses, on radio, on TV. The guy that is behind that is Opa. But Opa Sitale. And the team was led this time by Auspalisa, which I will, but we are also supported by the incredible Guguletu Makatuka. He's the man that was also part of the media team, and also Tate Milton Kosi. Has he gone, Milton? Is he? Tate Milton Kosi Rabatlo. That man, you guys, you know that man from BBC. He's the guy that guides us and mentor. He's part of our media team. When you see this event trending global on BBC, CNN, and all the media platforms, it's because of that Milton Ghost. Let's give that man a round of applause. We can do much better than that. And you know what I do? Every weekend, Milton and I and other guys who are CEOs, we are here in Orange Farm. He stays here. I must get him a proof of residency at Orange Farm. Let's give Milton the last round of applause. And then we have Cash. She does everything. Yeah, now Cash, she does everything. She's technical. She's logistics. She's social media. She's a maverick. She does everything. A brilliant girl. Future is bright, and we truly appreciate you, Cash. Let's give her. Then Mpopo. We call Pastor Mpopo Sizwe. Sizwe.
Makwas as well.
Sizwe is part of the business that we run. It's called EmpowaYouth. We do a lot of activations and a lot of campaigns around the country on different campaigns, because EmpowaYouth is known as a company that comes up with ideas, we implement, we communicate those ideas. And when we do ground activation, whether it's a road safety, whether it's HIV/AIDS, it's product launches, it's digital, Sizwe is one of our main person on the ground. He's the one that brings the crowd. I know when we do road safety, when we go at Durban, kuma-taxi rank, abamazi ngegama, but hayi maniza no Sizwe, hayi sizonivulela, ngoba he's highly known. And then we have Palisa Shabalala. She's our marketing leader. Anything that you see that is, brand marketing, a bit of digital and stage management and coordination around stage and talent, it's Palisa. Let's give a round of applause. And then we have Lesego. She's our administrative head. She's the one that makes sure that all processes are streamlined. She's the one that makes sure that your names are registered. She follows up on you, and she's an administrative genius. Let's give her a round of applause. Ayanda Otwana Likesh, she's everything. Ayanda, she's the one that helps us to do compliance. When you talk about compliance processes, make sure that we don't violate protocols, such joke. She does a lot of, lead when it comes to getting partners and stakeholders. And she's also doing a lot when it comes to project and event coordination. Let's give a round of applause. This is the team that has made this event possible. But I think I won't be doing justice to the lady that is watching us virtual. Her name is Kirsten Alexander. You guys who don't know her, she's a brilliant lady. She's a creative. Without her, we don't have incredible concept. Alexandra, Kirsten Alexandra, we salute you. We know that you're watching and you're supporting us creatively. She's the one that when you see things happening correctly, it's because Kirsten, she's more like a COO or a GM for EmpowaYouth. And when I said to her, we love her so much. Chaba, where's Chaba? Is he still not here? Chaba is a marketing and comms lead. when it comes to strategy, stakeholder relations. Some of you might know Chaba is a former marketing director of McDonald's. He's the guy that brought McDonald's with, when I say brought, not him, but it's owned by, he worked with number one, that is Cyril Ramaphosa. And he chairs a number of organizations, including the Da Vinci Institute. He sits on a number of boards. He's here, and is part of the EmpowaYouth team. He provides strategy, provides guidance, and is our sounding board. This is the team that makes things happen. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you, guys. Maybe let's take a picture. Let's take a picture quickly. This guy is P.M. Mhlambi. He's the #1 photographer in the country. Google him. He's Googleable. It's P.M. Mhlambi. Google him, and we are privileged that we have him. And then Romeo is #2 in the country. He's non-Googleable. Don't Google him. I'm joking, he's Googleable. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, colleagues. D, you must stay. I just want to do a quick thanks. Let me thank our sponsors, our supporters, TITA, our main partner, Transport Education Training Authority. We have agreed with various partners that we're taking this project to 9 provinces. We're going to go to Limpopo late this year, and then next year you'll see us in 9 provinces. It is confirmed, And then we're going to come back here next year. Next year, our aim, so that I can share this, you're aware of it. Our aim is to, depending whether we have a COVID, Chair, if I can tell you what happened, Chair, today, even including that, we had to disallow up to 500 young people because of COVID. Others we had to allow them kuku, so that to sit outside because they were pushing the gate, but the same opportunities, and that is our phone. And we had to allow them. Because of the limitation of resources and because of COVID, we pray to God that next year, COVID it will be faded. Because our aim, if you go, Chair, when we have time, there's a stadium. We want to put a marquee that will take 4,000 young people. And around that marquee, we want to have up to 20 industry stages. You see what we have? We have 8. We want to have 20. And on this side, you see here, we want to convert this to be more like various villages or exhibition stands, but in a form of a village. That young people, they go here and it's anything that has to do robotics, animation, gaming and all that. They move, it's finance, it's fintech, so that side is talks, here is practical. It's speed dating with employers, it's a real opportunities. That is the plan, Chair. And with your support, we're going to make it happen, especially in the arts and culture. And we want to thank you, that you came on board. We want to go big next year. Remember, we started this thing 7 years ago. It was 200 people. We've been funding this thing from EmpowaYouth. Even this year, 50% of the cost here, Chair, are funded by EmpowaYouth. Don't be fooled there. We have guys that have contributed immensely. We went to government, they said no, but now because they've experienced the property, now they're saying, look, we're gonna support you. And we're putting scale, which is good. That's what entrepreneurship is all about. We take a risk, and I said to my team, whether they come, whether they don't come, it makes me sleep at night. It just makes me, if we make money, it's fine, but the intention is to make sure that this generation, they don't raise their posterity the way we raised our kids. And we also want to say thank you to NYDA, thank you to InSita Insurance Sita, Usus Kukwagaseco, and we also want to say thank you to Gauteng Film Commission. The chair is here, Nano is here, my brother is here. They'll be handing over equipments. I think 2, just 1, is worth some few thousands. He's going to be hand over that, okay? And so I hope next year when they come, it will be, more than the. They have raised it. I want to thank our speakers. Chair, we had up to 200 speakers. We had 5 ministers, we have 80 CEOs, we had up to 40 celebrity, keynotes. Bosomizi, they were here. Thibaut Taj was here. Sonia Mbele was here. Samari was here. Puji today was here with up to 80, and all of them, they volunteered. They said, Simpiwe, we want to come and do this with you. And they came. When Tando Kunene, the former Miss SA 96, where Tato, I think he sits on the board, was here. I can name it. Where Milton Nkosi, who's also celebrating the media space, but also an entrepreneur. Where Kathy Mhlahlana. Next year we might have Terry, Tyler Perry. You'll never know. All things are possible. Go Orange Farm. We're changing the narrative here. Agiri, I'm very intentional with the team. We are saying we're bringing opportunity here. In the next 5 years, people will desire to come and stay here. The value in Kutsarona will go up because there will be development. Orange Farmer now is geographically displaced. Orange Farm, Orange Farm, Rico Johannesburg. This is where Johannesburg starts, and then we're going that side. But we are known Ntwetse Snacks, but this is what we want to do to change that. I want to thank our political leaders, councillors, who bought into this concept, business guys from Go Orange Farm, and I also want to thank the LOC. Is Jerry here? Jerry? Is Jerry here? I want to thank the LOC. I also run a tournament, Chair, called Masiza Sports Tournament. We put a lot of money, and again, from our own resources. We've been doing this deal for almost 3 years now. It's our 3rd year. We started, we knocked, they said no. We knocked yesterday, they said no. Today, this year, we knocked to COJ, and then sports and community, they came on board. And I want to say to COJ, they didn't come on board only for Masiza Sports Tournament. They also came on board for this event. They fed up to 10,000 young people here for the past 5 days. And it's our municipality. We want to say to the, who's the lead there? Martha and? Oh, Rebatoro Ausmatha Realeboha, with your team for making a dream of an African child possible. COJ, thank you so much. We are having conversations with COJ, the economic development, because we want to run an entrepreneurship. We call it Empower Entrepreneurs Summit. In November, like this, infrastructure. And all of you, I hope, guys, you are in our database because we're coming back. We're coming back in November. We're already having conversation with different partners, but this time, we are not focusing on everyone. We are focusing on aspiring or, immense. I'm showing this, to you, the backstop with you. Programs that we'll be hosting, still go to our website. Follow us on all social media platforms. Empower Youth. Tweet about it. Talk about it, do whatever that you can do, to support this initiative. The last two, and then I'm going to give it to, we just want to say thank you to Baruti, Chair. Before we hosted this, we had a breakfast with 200 pastors. To say to Baruti, we had a breakfast, I think 3 weeks before. To say, Baruti, you know, if le batla batho ba batjha ba patale tithe, a re ba rumeleng ba lo thola mosebetsi. Ba ba maqaedi business so that they can then be kingdom financiers. 200 pastors led by Moruti Blai, Lintates Khonyanis. Pastor Blai here, so we co-record that. Can you stand, Moruti Blai? Thank you so much, man of God. This is Pastor Blai. He's the one that convened. And Baruti have been supporting us. They've been praying for us, you know, galvanizing young people to come here because they believe in this initiative. And then all our service providers, and I hope I didn't, we also want to say thank you to Bidvest, who gave us an incredible support in terms of security, toilet, and cleaning. Without them, we wouldn't have made this dream a reality. Then let me give this, Chair, you know, if if you don't acknowledge Baba Patalang tight, and then you must make sure that you thank. Huh? Am I missing somebody? Beardvest is covered, the chair is covered. Let me say these two things and then I'm going to. Okay, I want to also to thank SAPS. I want to thank the most incredible people, Chair, who worked around the clock. They were here at 6. They leave here at 7. They leave every day. Our volunteers. Let them come. Come, volunteers. Let them come. Come, volunteers. Come and stand here. Call all the volunteers. Let's honor these guys who are committed to your future as young people. We can do much better than that. Let's put them here. Much better than that. These are the guys that worked around the clock. I thought you were going to give them a standing ovation because they deserve that. They deserve that. Guys, just be in the middle as the lead. Let's take them a picture. Pause. Posang hantle. Baletsebe. Chair, I can give you my guarantees that, just hold on, that Chair, 50% of these young people, next day when you come, either they'll be working or they'll be funded. You know, hold me accountable, okay? Because we need to start here. These ones have shown commitment. Guys, do smile. Are they fine like this, or should they have Amaro I2? Amaro I2. Abafishane pambele abate emuva. Wazan God. Arasangeki bonagale ile. Abo shoti, and then abo mute. Ngarap emuva. All right, while they are, you want to join them? Somebody? Okay, let's join them. Yeah? Salem, come and join us. Salem, she's our digital lead. When you see us trending, it's because of Salem. Let's give them a round of applause. Come and join. Guys, this is so nice. You guys, you look absolutely beautiful. From the tip of your toes, guys, to the crown of your head. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okay. Thank you so much. Let's give them a round of applause. The last two, and then I give it to D. Certificates. People that will receive a certificate of attendance are those who have attended more than 3 days. And And look, Oscar stress system yacho we are not fit today because they don't announce the prices. Yeah, Oscar wara ratseba ke boma. Then what we'll then do is we're gonna communicate with you, and then Rouge or only for certificates a name. Whether we want to do something or you can come and collect, we'll communicate. We'll have your details. Are we all together, guys? Are we all together? Certificate. Let me close by saying this, and then I'll give it to you, then I'm done. I used to work for a construction company. Shh. Okay, Baraskisi, thank you. Okay. I worked for this organization. There was a guy, his name was Dominic Ekoko. Dominic nara habulas kaftin on Monday. Na complain, arkitsibile ki peanut butter. You know? On Tuesday, melting. Habula kaftin sahai. He would scream at the top of his voice and say, I hate ki peanut butter hape. On Wednesday, Harubula lunchbox ya high. His friends said, Chair, Dominic, why don't you tell your wife to stop preparing this lunchbox for you? And Dominic responded and said, leave my wife and leave my kids. I do my own lunchbox. And his friend said, Dominic, are you complaining about your own peanut butter? I think what I'm trying to say on a serious note, from here going forward, if you can't succeed with all the information that you have received here, it's not your neighbor's peanut butter. It's not your parents' peanut butter. It's not the apartheid's peanut butter. It's your own peanut butter. Information on how to more. We bind them in the name of Jesus. The devil and his mother-in-law is a liar. You're gonna succeed. Let me give it to D. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Until we meet again.
Mr. Masiza, please just hold on. Mr. Masiza, please. Guys, I think it's time for us to say thank you to Mr. Masiza. Let's give him a standing ovation. True leadership. True leadership. Thank you. Mr. Masiza is the mastermind behind the setup today. He is the brain, this is his brainchild. And we can only feed off his leadership. So the team was able to bring this together, yes. But without him, we wouldn't have been able to do it. Without him, we all wouldn't be standing here. So I really think he deserves the last round of applause. Mr. Masiza, thank you so much. Masiza! Masiza! Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I think we need to quickly move ahead of the program. I'm going to introduce Mac from GFC, and they are now going to do their equipment handover. Mac, please ascend the stage.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Le kae batho ba bantle ba mo Orange Farm. It is indeed a privilege for us as the Gauteng Film Commission. We have been here for the past few days to do workshops, but today we thought as part of the closing ceremonies, we'd also come with our chairperson and our senior management team, come and share with you some of the work that we do as the Gauteng Film Commission. As the team comes up to the stage, I'll ask, we are also led by a very graceful, very behind the scenes Miss Busisiwe Mhaka. Please have a seat, ma'am. Thank you. Nano Mutibi, please come through, our head of marketing. And our beneficiary, but we will introduce her in a sec. In just a few minutes, because indeed it is time for closing, we did share with the Arts and Culture Forum what we do, but in brief, so as the Gauteng Film Commission is not known to everyone, we promote and we develop audiovisual content in the province. So we are tasked to actually develop scripts, to do screenings, to do productions from all the way to post-production. And we've got one of our beneficiaries who has applied and has been awarded this equipment in front of us, which includes a camera, microphone, lighting equipment, as well as, they call it a creative video maker. So with that, we don't want to take up more time. I just thought as part of the team, the chairperson, before we hand over, just would say a few words of encouragement, although indeed we have had quite a bit from Mr. Masiza and team. Thank you. Just 2 minutes, we will be done.
Good afternoon. We're not going to be long. Thank you for affording us this opportunity. But all we want to say is that amongst you, there are creative people. If you are able to tell a story or to come up with a story, then it means you are creative. We will help you to develop that story into a script for a film. We will help you and train you to be a filmmaker, to be a producer, so just make yourself available. These things are there. GFC is there, just come and say, I can do this. By the way, Mr. Masiza is gone. We are giving this to 15 recipients. This is just, if babies are 15 up. So 25, yeah. It's 25 people that are getting this, yeah. And lastly, let me say, this is really impressive. It means all of us, we can make a difference in a small way. So at home, you can start by just making sure that your street is clean. That's the little difference that you can make. You can just make sure that Umam Kulus doesn't have kids who's sitting alone at home. You go and help Umam Kulus, all of us. And later, you'll be doing this. This is really impressive. And we are definitely going to be part of this. We are pledging we're going to be part of this. By the way, I'm also an advisor for the city of Johannesburg. I was very happy that the city of Johannesburg is part of this. But I will speak to the city manager's office that it's bigger next year. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chairperson. Without further ado, we have also 3 beneficiaries who come from this region who unfortunately could not make it today, but they will be coming as part of our youth program. I'd like to call Ms. Caroline Makande to come through and to receive And to also share just a word or two, she's just signed a contract with the SABC, and she's gonna tell you how she did that, because we felt, let us indeed not just seem like we're giving equipment away, but how does that come to being, and what is she gonna do with it? Thank you, in just a few minutes, thank you.
Thank you so much. Dumelang kaofela. I'm very excited. Thank you to the GFC. I'm not going to be long, but what I want to say is, guys, I saw the motto of GFC is uzoyithola kanjani uhlele ekhoneni. So asingahlali emakhoneni, I applied. I didn't know anybody at the GFC, and it was my first time. But I know that I was compliant. I always make sure that I'm compliant. So guys, let us try to be compliant. Sikokoteni, doors are always opened. I knocked, and this is what I got. And Puti just mentioned that I got a contract with the SABC. I'm a producer. I also line produce. And Nase SABC, I didn't know anybody. When they took out AMA briefs, I knocked with a concept, and they happened to love the concept. And because of that concept, I got to work with the SABC for 4 years to develop a drama. And from next week, on the 2nd of June, we are starting a pre-production of the drama. We are shooting a drama, which is a 13 episode. So Maiza, it's got all languages, and it's beautiful, and it's exciting. Nizoibona. It is, so in brief, my company is a township company. And I believe, Vele, when we do companies, we must always go back to the township. Singers Amupuma and go to Sentin and wherever. And what I know is that from the township, I believe that, Uputi said it earlier, we can learn. I've learned how to produce. I'm a producer. I now know what I do. And again, I learned line producing, which deals with money.
Guys, please keep it
You know, it's always important to account. So not to be long, thank you so much, GFC Chair, Ngiyabonga. Thank you for the opportunity. And thank you. I'm going to shoot, Nje.
That's it.
Shoot.
Thank you, Empower Youth. We'll just, I think time. Yeah, we're just going to take a picture.
Okay, guys, so for those of you that's looking for the same opportunity, please apply on the GFC website. The call will be coming out again around September. Okay, so it's time for the grand moment that everybody has been waiting for. I would like to then call up Osmapule from Naspers, so she can then give us the address regarding the opportunities and prizes that we had then spoken about. The 1.4.
Dumelang. Yeah, I'm standing between your going home, but I think it's worth it. But maybe let me start off by thanking Empower Youth, Ntate Masiza. Well done. Thank you so much. now I get energized where there's young people because naturally they have this energy within them. And it's a pity we're at the end of the session. So I'm not going to take a lot of time. As you can see, kids are from Naspers, and we are a consumer internet operator and investor. We are proudly South African, reinvestor in local productions, reinvestor in our young people, South African young people, and we encourage your juices, creative juices, because that's what makes markets. It starts with a thought, and the thought is converted into an idea, and that idea becomes a product or a service. So, Nake head up on Naspers Labs, and what I do is focus on two streams. The one is entrepreneurship. We fund ideas from local communities. So those who struggle to make it, call those established entities that are meant to fund, we open doors for you. Come and pitch and come and tell us, or what are you doing? But those solutions, we encourage technology enabled. So technology is not everything, it's just an enabler. So if you have something, for example, one of the entrepreneurs, Barona, they've mimicked the idea who deliver, Mr. Delivery, they do deliver speed, go townships. So we're looking for such ideas that makes life easier for our communities, the people within the communities. So I've heard throughout the day, people have got those ideas. Go onto our website, talk to us, let's have a look and help you move along. And there are those who just struggle with little governance. They've got their own entity, it's just not registered, but it's operating. We can help you move along. And then, importantly, pillar 2 gear skills. My take is you can't go to war with a weapon. Today's world is very, very technology oriented. So I've committed to Ntate Masiza Hore. This community are Orange Farm. The young people Bamo Orange Farm. We're not going to leave you behind. We are putting down money that's going to help you with digital skills. You know, anything digital so that you can be competitive globally. So, earlier on, my team were working outside because the committee 1.4 million. And they went through the database, EmpowaYouth. So those entities are young people that have registered. We have selected 25 winning enterprises. Yes. And those young people are the beneficiaries of the 1.4 aka announcer. Then, how they're going to get those funds? Because today is the last day of session. During the course of this coming week, EmpowaYouth is going to be contacting the lucky winners, obviously. And then Naspers Labs will make sure we do follow-ups. We'll phone and say, we believe you were a winner. We just want to make sure you've been contacted. If Barry no, ipimali. Because abantwana bafuna ukuqhubeka nemisebenzi lebayistatileyo. And over and above that, there is a balance of young people that I'm saying within Orange Farm we're going to put on these digital courses. So I'm wishing you good luck, and I'm saying let this be an encouragement, your efforts of coming to understand, or how can you break the barriers that you are facing? How can that hope on to make it in this world ailing so challenging, be successful? So this is what I came to do, to just create that hope, and I'm hoping with that hope, the session today, you guys will feel a little bit energized and hopeful that tomorrow will be a better day. Thank you so much.
Let's give a round of applause, Mamelang, so that you get an understanding. The 25 entrepreneurs. This 1.4 million, this is how it's divided. Nothing goes to EmpowaX, it goes to you. Skara re kopana le rena le masizi o jile tšhelete ya rona. Nke ka heja, a itle ho nna ke yo. Ya ho lona. 500,000. The 25, NASPERS will give you 20,000 each. The 25 that will be, they have to go through the screening, the vetting. We have your details. Again, you understand what I'm saying? 25, Ritoli Fonela this week, and then we'll do the prize giving, hopefully June 16. We'll make sure that we have, if a schedule permits, we'll work around the schedule so that at least for the check it's alone. Again, that's number one. Number two, NASPERS, they're taking, is it 71 max young people who wants to do digital skills so that you could do robotics, programming, you know, AI and all that. You know, the 71, they are sponsoring training up to the value of 15,000 per delegate. That, okay, sir.
Eric quantify that those who are doing digital training, here's what we do at NASPERS Labs. We don't just train. We trainer,
I wanted to say that you are not going to go through a training only. They will place you after the training. Meaning the 71 is guaranteed. But you must stay the course, you must show commitment, good attitude. We've taken you through. That's how the amount is divided. 800,000, it goes for your training. The 500, 900, yeah, so it goes for your training. The other amount goes hard cash, but Kenya on your account for governance issues. Are we all together? That's how it's divided. You shall be called before the end of this week. We have your details. We'll do the vetting, and then NASPERS and make sure that Baufa check your how. At least nobody 20,000 go accounting your how for your company. I get it. That's what we're talking about. We're gonna give 1,000 rand now cash. Before the time my apostolic duty, let's give them 1,000 rand, and then at least by duty, one person move 1,000 rand.
Dumelang? Selekhathetsi dumelang? Hi, some of you have already started leaving, but you know what they say, good things come to those who wait. In fact, go empower youth. We say good things come to those who tweet, who go on Instagram, or who go on Facebook. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1,000 rand to the person who has interacted Lerona the most on social media throughout the week. Some of you have not slept. Ne le re tso sa bosiu ka bo 2. Le retweeta, le tweeta, le posta bo di Facebook. So from all of you, we have a winner. Ha re mo fe half, ha re mo fe 3/4, re mo fa kaofela 1,000 rand cash. Le ska mo ja poho hleng bathong ba modimo.
Okay. Can we do this one more time? What is our hashtag? EY 2022. Can we please call to the stage? Their handle is Gemini 13. This one doesn't sleep. This one does not sleep. Awulali. I'm going to ask Sorry, I'm just going to ask that they just confirm their username so that we know we are giving the prize money to the correct person.
Sanibonani. Igama lami nguSibahle Ndaba. My handle on Twitter is @usibahle_. Thank you.
Thank you so much and congratulations. The money is yours.
That's it, colleagues. We'll see you tomorrow at the Mighty Greens at 2:30. We're having finals of my Caesar Sports Tournament. We'll then see you again. June 16, we're coming. God bless you. Bye-bye.